Well, first of all, congratulations on winning the award.
Oh, thank you. It was pretty cool.
I knew it was going to happen.
Well, how?
I don't know. I'm just saying that. I'm happy, but I'm also not surprised because I know how much work you put in. I know earlier you were saying you do this much, and I wanted to interrupt you and say, this is not how much you do. You contribute so much to this team, and it is not a surprise to any of us. Although we are still honored to be recognized.
Well, first of all, I so appreciate that. I do feel that way though. Like it's my job to represent the genius on our team. We have so much genius on our team, so many special human beings. And I feel like it's such a privilege to go out and anytime, like whether we're being acknowledged or whether, the industry is pointing to some of the work that we're doing, because I am in a position in which I get to see the thousands of hours and the debate and the care and the arguing and the frustration and then the coming back to it again that all of us are doing in order to make that possible. That's why, to me, I feel so proud because it's just like a collective shared team recognition for our work. So that is pretty cool. And we got to take the wins where we get them, man. It's really wonderful when something like that happens because it gives us, I think, and it gives me a moment to just pause for a second. The work is never going to be over. That's going to be the case forever. And part of what I'm trying to practice is the pause. Hey, that's pretty cool. Nice. Okay, clearly we must be doing something right. And it's wonderful when those that I have so much respect for seem to be paying attention.
Do you have a hard time accepting awards like this?
Oh my gosh. Yes, it's very difficult because it feels like the work isn't done. I know that's crazy, but I'm like, why we shouldn't be getting an award? We have so much more to do. We have so much more to do. So I think there's a dissonance there for me that's pretty hard for me to reconcile. I've never been good at this stuff, it's much easier for me to be able to look at a very long to-do list and be okay, let's go after that. But at the same time, it's still nice. Just because it's hard for me doesn't make it not nice.
Of course.
I'm just
I asked that because I'm also awkward and I have such a hard time accepting flowers sometimes, or in this case, an award, because I also think about, oh my goodness, there is still so much to do. We're not even in the middle of it yet. We're just at the very beginning.
I know, we're not even at the starting line. We're behind the starting line, We're waiting to get in there. Yeah, I agree. And maybe that's part of our own process of learning. The wiser you get, the more you learn. And so I'm trying now to be okay, that's cool. That's something worth celebrating going into the weekend with. That feels really good.
Yeah.
Because it's so easy to constantly be this needs to be better. This needs to be better. This needs to be better. You need a couple different notes in there, right? Otherwise, that's a pretty boring song.
It's a good way to put it. You just spent some time in California at your old stomping grounds. How was that?
So good. I mean, I'm from that place. I have 4 generations of family who've been in Northern California. So when I tell you this place is in my bones, I can feel it when I touch down, There's just there's some instincts there that start to kick in. So it's just a great place to spend time. It's also just beautiful, and then just getting to spend a little time with my dad. He's not as strong as he always was. So now he's eating breakfast in bed, which is God bless him. If only we can all be that lucky, know, but he's eating his breakfast in bed these days. And so, being there to help with some of the changes, it's nice to just spend time. It felt really good. And then it's also really important for me because the house, it's not the house is just staying nice. It's like everything, it gets wear and tear on it. So it's a great opportunity for me to be like, oh, why is that blinking light out? We got to fix that. Or like, who turned off the sprinklers? Why is my dad's lawn dying? Like, we need to fix this. Or like, shoot, that tree is now like messing with the roof. We're going to have to like call in, somebody to go take care of that. So that is my love language, to be able to like go in and be like, okay, I love you, Dad. And I'm going to show you that by watering your lawn, right? We're going to like make sure this place is up and running and feeling cared for. Right. And so it's really nice for me to be able to go in and do that. It's also funny too, because like I'm supposed to be this grown up, right? Coming in, going to these conferences, meeting with people talking about the business, and then ultimately staying in my childhood bedroom and hanging out with my dad. It feels like I'm like getting one over on everyone because I'm not really just like at home in the, childhood bedroom that I grew up in.
Yeah, it must be so energizing to knowing that 4 generations have been in this area and grown. I get the same feeling when I go back home to the Philippines. There's a certain part of me that gets lit up that I don't really get here. What I call home, when the Philippines is where we've had many generations live. Yeah. And I can only imagine just being able to go back there and to win the award and to have all these things. It must have been such an amazing trip for you.
Well, yeah. And I graduated from UC Berkeley too. So wild to be back on campus. This is the first time I've been back since I graduated. And that's surreal to be, because there's a part of me that's like, wow, I can see older versions of myself running around, trying to like get to my classroom on time before the deadline to turn in my paper. And then it was really funny because some things never change, Chris. Like, I think we like to think that we're getting wiser or evolving. And I'm like, nope, I'm still the exact same, because I have distinct memories of being like, oh no, I'm like, I am going to miss the cutoff. I got to like run this paper in, and I'm in a dead sprint across campus to try and turn my paper in during finals at the right time. And then of course I wait till the very last minute for my flight, and I'm in a dead sprint in SFO, like blowing past so many people trying to get to my gate on time. And I was like, same old ridiculousness.
And somehow you still make it through every time.
Yeah. Well, this time is like, I think I have like incredibly bad luck in the fact that all of my planes are always delayed. So I hustle, and I would have 100% missed my flight, but then, it's an hour late. So it's great. Then I end up being right on time. Yeah. But then I end up getting it in a lot later.
I'm curious, a little bit of a pivot here. I'm curious how you deal with feedback that forces you to focus. And I ask that, I guess, for context for the audience. We have gotten some feedback from some people maybe asking or requesting for us to be focused in specific areas where we're already operating as a business, but wanting to zoom in a little bit more into specific parts of the business.
Yeah. There's such a tension, right, between creating something brand new and then being focused. Like, the two of those things are almost like different human beings, right? Because one is all about dreaming about what's possible, what doesn't exist in front of us that could be here, right? Which is all about opportunity. And the other is about discipline and about saying, I see 7 things in front of me, and I'm only going to focus and pay attention to this one thing. So it's very, very hard to switch between those two modes of like building something brand new the world has never seen before, and then making sure you got your feet firmly planted on the ground and you are making it possible, right, to not run out of steam on both of these things. Focus, I think, is made more possible when you have already built out the instrumentation that allows you to focus. And so why I say that is I can't stress enough how much I think like strategic roadmaps, sort of like business planning, we call them OKRs, but like your key objectives are to being able to give both myself, but also the rest of the team permission to focus. Like, you need those moments, and then you need those agreements, right? We all make agreements with each other. You need those agreements in order to be able to do that. So to me, especially because I think I occupy more of that dreamer state, I rely on those tools to be able to help steer me and kind of give me the ability to then trust. I can focus on what's most important and also relax in the fact that there's going to be a lot of other things that also are going to be vying for attention. And we've already agreed. We're not going to be spending our time on that right now. I think Steve Jobs once said that once, and I'm going to butcher his line, but it was like, I'm more proud of the things I didn't build than the things that I did. And I think that's what he meant, which like, I'm sure I can't even imagine what was pitched to him of different things to bring into this world, and there's just no possible way you can do all of them well. So I'm sure that was like a number of really hard decisions to get to the iPhone, right? The iPad, whatever else he happened to have been working on at the time. There was all of these other distractions in line. The other piece that I think is like focus changes. So if you get like some significant feedback coming back around something that matters, it's important to recalibrate and think about it. How does this now engage with your current plan? Is this feedback strong enough to then make you focus on something else? And so there's been a little bit of that going on inside of our team right now, which is like, okay, is this feedback the type of feedback we really have to listen to or not? Does this change some of the programs that we're working on? And I'd say you tell me, what do you think? I think there's some of those answers have been yes.
Yeah. Well, what question to what exactly? If what we're working on, like what to focus on? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, exactly. Right. Which are the programs that matter the most?
I think the feedback that we've gotten, although difficult for me personally to hear, because there's part of it that I hear, hey, you're doing a great job, but you need to do more. That's part of what I hear. And also what I found creatively, focus, although it gives you limitations, there's so much creativity within limitations. It actually unlocks more for yourself. And for me personally, when I'm creating and I have a very specific objective with creative, it's so much easier than having everything that you can create anything, right?
For sure.
I found focus has made me such a more skilled artist and skilled practitioner, because I'm not working on 100 things that I could be working on. I'm working on the one thing that we've all agreed on.
I love that. Oh yeah, I love that. And you can feel really good about it.
Yeah.
Right? You can be like, okay, I'm going to just like knock this one out of the park. I know that this is the most important thing for me to be working on right now. And I'm going to do it really, really well. And that does give you that permission to put all of your ammo behind that one thing. So you're right. And so I also think it's my job too, to be able to like provide that focus, for everyone to be able to then relax into that and really bring out the best in their work. So it's a constant practice, figuring out what are the right instruments to be able to do that. What are the hard calls? And then what is the communication across our team so that we know and we're all staying on the same page.
Yeah, it's kind of funny how that works, because this entire time leading up to this, I've always thought that you need to just have no bounds and you need to be as creative as possible and you need to create everything that comes to mind. And while I think there's part of that that's true, I think what's more invigorating for me and what really brings a stronger story out of the tools that I use is just having focus and really and having the permission to say no to things because you know what the focus is. For sure.
Yeah. I'm with you. And also to your point earlier on like, wow, being told good job, but also do more. It's a hard experience, right? Like we talk about this all the time, being an athlete. Good job. One more time, faster. And you're like, what do you mean? That was fast enough. That was already fast enough. It's a crazy emotional relationship to that experience of being told to rise, right? Do more, rise. Because at first it's like, okay, well, I start to feel like, well, that's impossible. And now I'm like, here's my excuses for why, or like, here's why I'm mad at you for that. And like, that's stupid. And then the experience is like, okay, fine. Like I agree in theory, that would be a better outcome. Right. And then I have to get to like peace with it, which is like, okay, is there fuel in the tank for me to do that? Can I dig deeper? Is there enough to be able to do that? And I was joking about this with one of our other team members. It's like, it's kind of like being like a punching doll or something. Like you kind of get punched and then you're down and then you're kind of like, and you come back up again. I think the key is just like, as long as happens again, I'll always feel like, okay, like I'm in my zone, because you've taken a little minute, like have your kind of like pissed off moment, and then come back into the ring again and be ready for it. And inevitably I find like there's gifts in it. Like I'll be like, oh yeah, that was a good piece of feedback, or that was a good piece of advice. Like I'm going to take that now and I'm going to run with it, and I'm going to be smarter on the other side of it. But you have to work through the emotions. And I think that's actually really helpful too, by the way. I think it's silly to be like, oh, I'm not going to feel emotional, or I'm not going to be frustrated or annoyed by that. I actually think it's really healthy to burn that off. Like have the experience of being like frustrated or pissed, and be intentional about that. Be like, I'm going to like rail against the system or how stupid this is for a second, and then it sort of burns itself up, and then you can get back into the work again.
Yeah. We often compare ourselves to athletes, and I don't know if any athletes listen to the pod or not. And they might be listening like, you have no idea what it's like being an athlete, especially a professional athlete. Yeah. No, but I think a lot of what you said of coming back and being able to bounce back and do it better or faster or whatever. I say we, like I was in the Stanley Cup finals, but for hockey players, I can imagine you get through the first round of playoffs, right? You just grind through, and then you got to start again and do it again for another round. And then again, you got to do it for another round. And I think that is exactly, although we are not having to be thrown against a glass wall, that's exactly what this is. You get thrown up against a wall, you learn what you could do better. And then, hey, by the way, you got to wake up tomorrow and do it again, do it faster or better. And
I know
that's just the game.
There's this whole mental framework that I've heard athletes use, which is so cool. It's learn, burn, return. And so it's like, okay, what's the lesson? Then burn it. Stop dwelling on it. There's no time and there's no energy wasted on this anymore. Return to the game, which I was like, that's super helpful. I love that as a framework. And then just using that. And I often find it's like, it snaps me out of something, because you can get into like ruminating and sitting there and be like, and it doesn't have like a healthy outcome to it, but really focusing in on like, okay, what are you going to take out of this? And then turn the page. Yeah.
I think that's super helpful. Easy. It's very simple in theory, and very difficult to execute on when it's time to execute on it. Yeah.
But it also just helps. Like I love our team. I love the work. I love the work so much. It's just so good, So I feel so spoiled in that. I think it's like easier to get back into it again.
Yeah, for sure. Last week we talked about Guide and getting families through this program. Have there been any updates or any learnings since our conversation about it last week?
I had the most amazing conversation. I'm like literally picking up the phone and I'm calling families who have like, how amazing is this? Like they've seen your incredible stories. They've decided like, hey, I've never heard of this program. This would be so helpful in my family. They're coming to our website. They're putting in all of the information to see if they're eligible. And I got to pick up the phone and I had to call a woman to name, Lindsay. And I was like, you now are going to have so much more support for your mom. And here's what that looks like. And just hearing that, the joy in her voice around being able to take some days off for, cashing in on the respite care, being able to now have access to a care navigator and someone to talk to every month for questions. And she gets this now for like years. She doesn't have to re-enroll. That is so cool to be able to do. So I just say that, like, I'm literally calling anyone who's like applying for this. I'm like, hey, like, did you need any help? Is there parts of this like that, were hard that you couldn't find answers to? Like, let's see if we can figure it out together. So I think like what's changed in that is just like, we're moving forward. We're bringing more families on. We're meeting them. I know, like, it's a whole bunch of our team is out there calling everybody and making sure we have everybody's information and then giving them the good news that they're enrolled. So I think that's changed. And that's also wonderful. What a wonderful piece of news to be able to deliver to somebody on a Friday.
Right. For the family who might have seen maybe a social media post about us talking about Guide, and they're now listening to this pod, can you just explain what is Guide? What does it do for a family? And why does it sound too good to be true?
Yeah. So Guide is a new program from Medicare, CMS, where they recognize that so many families like mine are in their homes helping support a loved one with Alzheimer's or dementia, and that this is really hard. We need a lot of help to do this right. And so what they wanted to do was set up a program in which all of us who are eligible, you have to be living, at your home, you have to be on traditional Medicare, could have access to a number of different resources. We don't have to pay for them. It's things like being able to step away for an important doctor's appointment of your own and bringing in a professional care provider to take over for that day so your loved one's safe. It's having a care plan. It's having free access to a 24/7 hotline for any, if there's an emergency or any, questions that you have, even if it's in the middle of the night. It's an ongoing telephone call with a real professional, like it's trained in dementia and navigation and supporting families. This is awesome. I think the respite services are like upward. I think it's over $2,500 a year, and this just keeps renewing. These are all really good things. So I think you're going to see more of this coming out of Medicare as they realize we're doing really important work. And not only are we keeping our loved one more safe by spending this time with them, but we also need help to do this well. If we're going to do this, this is also good for the system, right? Because the system can't hold as many of our seniors as it would, as it needs to. And so for us to be able to provide a lot of this care in home is good for everybody. And so they're trying to make it easier for us.
Yeah, but what's the catch though?
I know, right? What's the catch? I don't think there's a catch, except for the fact that we know how hard it is to navigate government programs. Like the catch is the bureaucracy. Like the catch is making sure you've got all of the right things and the information so that you can get enrolled and be part of the program. We know what it's like. Have you ever been to the DMV? Like,
oh my goodness.
Right? Like this stuff is not easy. That's the catch. So, hopefully we're making it a little easier for everybody on our side. I think that's the biggest catch. The only other catch is like, this is an 8-year program. So this is thinking super long term. I hope that Medicare decides to make this permanent for all of us and that this becomes something that, we're all entitled to for as long as we're living at home, especially when we're living with Alzheimer's or dementia. But it does have an end date in about, I want to say it's now 7 years, something like that. And so hopefully they renew it. So maybe that's the catch, but that's a ton of resources between now and 7 years from now.
Yeah. It's a ton of time. 7 years is such a long time, especially if you're caring for somebody with dementia. I mean, caring for anybody with anything is difficult in itself. So I think
exactly
any sort of support on the journey is super helpful. I actually just spoke to a woman who is caring for her husband, and she's in the program, and she is so delighted about the help that she's getting and the fact that she's able to see her friends that she hasn't seen in over 10 years. And the fact that they live in the same city and they haven't been able to see each other in 10 years. And the fact that she's able to go on a vacation with her girlfriends, like all of these things that she just was not able to do because she didn't feel comfortable enough leaving behind her husband, and to hear how much relief. And it's funny, I called her while she was at a recital and she was, she's like, I'm in the middle of a recital, but I would love to talk to you about my experience, because she was just that enthusiastic about being a part of the program. So yeah.
That makes me feel so good. I love that. She deserves to see a friend. We all do, right? We all deserve that. That's the best thing I've heard all week, Chris. How cool. I'm so glad for her. And I'm so glad to be able to connect someone to that opportunity in their life. That's really powerful. That's all we can hope for.
Yeah, for sure. And, I always get glimpses of people being so surprised about something being so useful. And they're like, well, what's the catch in it? Cause I see that all the time when we talk about the Tender ID, and I ask people, or I offer people a Tender ID. Yeah. And they're like, so you just scan it and then like you do you get all the information and you're just gonna give this to me for free, like right now? And I'm like, yeah, I'd love to give this to you. I'd love to help you set it up. And they're like, what? Are you sure? I'm like, yes.
Yeah, I really do.
Yeah.
Oh, so good. I know. Well, we have to be so strong and we have to be on the protective side for so many things. You know, sometimes it can feel weird when someone's genuinely trying to help us out.
Yeah. Like, I mean, by the way, me too. When somebody is just genuinely trying to, like, if somebody is like, hey, I'll put your cart away for you. I'm like, are you sure? Like, I mean, I could go do it. Is there a catch here? Like, so I get it. Yeah. I understand that.
I know. I was also thinking, even for our tender IDs, like there's such a goodwill act. Why are we the only ones who get to do the goodwill here? One of the things I was also thinking is like, it'd be kind of cool if we could make it so that we could allow you to go out and give these to others, right? And be on the side of being like, I want to save my family's life. I want to save my in-laws' life. So I've been thinking about that. What does that look like? Or what does it look like for someone to want to like, underwrite a whole batch for a different group and be like, okay, thank you for giving me mine. I want to commit, I'm going to donate $20 or whatever it is. And I want you to like go out and give these to, 20 people who deserve these and go spend the time on getting these activated. I think that's pretty cool too. So I was like toying with the idea. I was like, maybe we should make that possible just to see if anybody wants to do it.
I mean, are you kidding me? Our DMs right now are filled with people who just want to give them out.
Oh my gosh. Okay, we should just make it possible.
Community, like just anybody, like there's so many different kinds of people that want to give these out, and we're such a small team. Like we can only handle the requests of so much.
So maybe what we do then is we have some way of like, hey, do you want to donate to really give these out to the like people who really need them? And that'll help us to be able to produce more too. And to connect them up, or just say, hey, we want to connect up. Like this hospital in your community is really wanting to do this. And so maybe there's probably something there. I think all of us really just want to keep everybody safe in our communities. And that's just a genuinely good thing, especially when you're talking about, people who are vulnerable or are seniors. They deserve as much extra protection as we can give them.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think it's so heartwarming to see people just wanting to activate and give and not even just protect seniors, but just wanting to protect their community and how much they actually care. Because like these people are taking on giving out tender IDs for free. So they're just volunteering, willingly volunteering their time to this random, to this company. Totally. And they're like, I want to give these out. And I'm like, yeah, let's do it.
Let's go. I mean, we should I think we should. This will be like our moment. We're actively brainstorming right now. We need to go back to the DMs and figure out how we make this. Like, we got to figure out an idea because we're a tiny team. So I think the idea is like, well, how do we produce enough and we give these out to everybody who needs them? There's a way here.
Yeah, the tiny team. I think about that term all the time because I say it all the time, and I don't know if I ever just use that as an excuse for the things that we're unable to accomplish because there aren't enough hours in the day to do things. And I know with the help of certain tools, we can multiply our team, but I don't know. It's how long can a tiny team operate? And continue.
I mean, I think most significant things that happen in this world are usually down to just a few people. I know that's crazy, but I think it's just, is it the right people in the right room at the right time? So there's not enough hours in the day. And by nature of being tiny, you're up against like a lot of like pretty major like structural odds. But I do think there's also nothing like a highly motivated tiny team.
Oh, for sure.
So I just say that because I think oftentimes we are more powerful than we give ourselves credit for in our ability to like do some significant good.
Yeah. I think what I might sound hypocritical here. I agree with that. And also I think I'm burdened by, well, there's more that we could do. There's always more that we can do.
I know. And we'll do it too, right? We just got to focus. We're going to focus and then we're going to do the next thing and the next thing. And it's amazing how you stack up enough of that. And all of a sudden you start to check off all the things you want to do. We're also continuing to make seats at the table though. right? So, we're going to stay tiny for as long as it makes sense. And then we're going to keep growing and keep bringing more amazing people in to our tiny team.
I love it. Last thing for you before I let you go and enjoy some birthday festivities. What are you looking forward to for what's to come?
Well, I think I'm looking forward. First, I'm looking forward to getting so many more people connected to the benefits that they're eligible for. There's a magic in that. There's something so real. There's nothing theoretical about that. That's like real help. So I think that's really exciting to be spending our time on. I'm really excited about continuing to build out what we can make valuable for all of those who are inside of the tendercare platform all the time. So like right now, there's a couple places that we do some cool things. We're always monitoring severe weather, in the zip code of your loved one, so you don't have to. And then trying to give real advice for how to keep them safe if there's something dangerous happening. That's pretty cool. There's so many other ways that we could be doing that though too. So like really monitoring for where are there new programs, not even in your state, but in your county that you should be aware of that just hit that you should now know about. And oh, by the way, like we should just go ahead and like see if we can get you, enrolled without you having to do anything.
Yep.
That's cool, man. Cause then like we're all living our lives. We don't have time to be looking at all of this. So if tendercare can be continuing to build out the platform that's like got your back and looking through all of this, monitoring all of this, and then flagging it to you for the moments where like, it's like, hey, you should know about this, is cool. That's seriously valuable. We all know this. We're so busy. So I'm excited to keep pushing into that space, of finding more ways. We're really learning through Guide, but finding even more ways to match up what someone might need or might need to be aware of only at the moment that they need it. So that's like a lot of like cool product stuff that's coming, I think, based off of like now being able to locate where you are and what you need, and then serving up all of these really important suggestions or alerts to you. And then on the business side, I'm really excited because we've had a lot of very well-known players out there in the industry come say hi and see if they can find ways to work together with us. And that's really exciting because that means we can extend our impact. There's a lot we can do by pairing up with some of these. And I'm not going to mention them right now until everything is like official. I know, but like that's pretty cool, right? And that's coming to us. And I think it's coming because everybody recognizes how important it is to be prioritizing this experience that we're all actively in. None of us are disconnected from the other. All of us have people we care about. All of us want to make sure they're safe when they need it. And so I think between the product and how we actually genuinely help people, hearing the stories of when we're connecting people to programs they didn't know about before we wanted to put them in front of them and then get them enrolled. And then third, working with a lot of these like very well-known big brands to bring a lot of what tendercare does out to even more people. All of that's pretty exciting.
There's so many things to be excited about.
It's so good. It's so, okay, let me just be real for a second. It's so good. It's so hard. It's so good. It's so hard. And it's just like that. Right? I think that's like probably like the most truth I can tell in that. It's those two things both at the same time. And so take water breaks.
For sure. Stay hydrated. It's the life of an athlete.
Exactly.
Cool. Thanks, Shauna.
You're the best, Chris.